Hi everyone, so excited to do today the training number 2 out of our 8 training classes, right? And all about the coaching business and how you can grow your business to the next level. Or if you're just getting started with your business, then how can you actually launch this business successfully? So as you're coming on, also let me know, where you're joining from. And if you're watching a replay, let me know, drop the replay in the comments as well. I will be coming back to this comments obviously too, because like a lot of you are watching the replay. So today's training is all about how to get clear about your coaching niche, right? And as a business coach, I see that all the time. I see it all the time that we women tend to struggle with that way too much. So it's really my goal today to give you the clarity, to give you some aha moments, how you can maybe rethink about your coaching niche, or if you're multi-passionate and you're not sure, should I go with this niche or that one, and you're not sure how to pick the right one for you. So I hope that today's training is gonna bring you some clarity, and if it does, let me know in a comment. And if you know already your coaching niche, also drop that in a comment. So if you're a health coach, for example, let me know. I would love to know. If you're a relationship coach, love coach, business coach, let us know in the comments so we can all get to know you too. Okay, so if this is the absolute first time that you see me, my name is Reelika Schulte. I am an online business coach, and I'm helping women launch the coaching businesses and grow this to next level. We're helping them with creating the packages and the pricing, but also a lot of marketing techniques, especially when it comes to automation and evergreen business model as well. So let's dive right into, because this is what I want to focus today, is all about how you can get clear about your coaching niche. And okay, career coach, awesome. By the way, I don't see who's here. I can just see the comments, but it doesn't show me who is actually watching. So if you're joining, so definitely leave your comments below. I'll be back on later as well. Awesome. So cool. So let's get started. So what do you need to focus on first when you're thinking about your coaching niche? Number one thing that I wanted to focus on is start with yourself. And I know a lot of times we hear people talking about think about your ideal clients. Is this a woman? Is that where is she living and all those things? It's important. It's actually really important to understand your ideal clients, but don't get into that yet. Start with yourself first. And when you're thinking about yourself, I have some questions for you that you can kind of maybe take some notes and dive into those questions. How do you answer those questions? So what's your story, right? First of all, what have you personally overcame in your life, maybe experienced, or maybe you felt some sort of struggle in your life? What is your personal story? What is your expertise as well? Because obviously you gotta coach people about something that you know what you're talking about, right? So that you can have maybe some experience, but you do have to understand that if you're coaching people, you gotta be confident in your niche. You have to know what you're talking about. So think about what kind of expertise you have and what's also your passion, because you can have 20 years of experience, maybe, let's say, in a human resources. But if that is not your passion, then you don't have to go with that, right? So just figure out what your passion is also. And then how can you actually coach people based on your personal experience or your expertise? And sometimes, not actually sometimes, but most cases, we women tend to kind of put ourselves down and kind of undervalue our expertise and our personal experience as well. So what I recommend you do is actually write out all your credentials, all your certifications, all the degrees, awards, prizes, training, special classes, anything that you have accomplished, maybe anything that you have achieved. Maybe you have taken a lot of classes already. This is your experience. This is your expertise. So write those things down so you can later see how you can combine that with your passion and how you actually bring this to your ideal client as well. But it has to start from you. And if you first think, I don't have expertise, I don't have experience, I'm just getting started. So here's the question I want you to ask. Is that really true? Is that really true that you do not have the expertise, you do not have the experience? Because I can pretty much guarantee that if you look into launch a coaching business, there is a reason behind that. There is a reason behind that, and most likely there is either personal experience that you're looking to do that. For example, if you're going to health and wellness, for example, or into mindset coaching, or there is a professional expertise behind that. Work experience, maybe master's degree, maybe PhD, maybe some sort of classes that you have taken. There is some sort of experience or expertise behind that. And I literally recommend that you go through your entire life of experience. So go back to what kind of classes you have taken and all things that you have kind of gone through. Because the more specific you can be and the more you can kind of list out those things for yourself. These are for yourself, not for your clients, okay? These are for yourself that you can actually see that, yes, I do have experience. I have actually experienced a lot. And yes, I have tons of expertise as well. And think about your work experience as well. So how many years did you maybe work in a particular job? Maybe you were a manager, right? So that if you're a career coach, right? So maybe you have experience in human resources, you have insight into things that other people do not. And that matters. That is your expertise. How many positions have you had, right? What were your responsibilities? Were you managing a team? So did you have some, maybe did you develop some leadership skills? Did you have to use maybe some mindset techniques? Just really see what's your expertise and the experience that you have gained over this time. And also your personal struggles, right? And what success have you also had? How did you transform your own life as well? Because chances are that you are your own ideal client as well. So maybe you went through something like me personally, right? So that I quit my 9 to 5, actually not 9 to 5, but 8 to 5. And I have gone through that and I know how this transition is like. So, and I can teach that to others as well. If you have gone through something, so you can also teach that to others. Also think about what are you really, really proud of? So this is such an important question because, again, I feel like there is a lot of mindset blocks that come up for women that we do not want to brag, right? We do not want to share what we're good at, right? So, but what are you truly proud of? Maybe you accomplished something that you're really proud of. Maybe it's a good marriage, that you have a wonderful relationship, that you have really worked hard for that. So that might be your experience and that might be something that you're excited about, right? And so if you're thinking about what makes you an expert, right? So what are some of those 3 to 5 things that you feel really, really strong about, like talking and teaching? So, and I really wanted to write out, let's say a 3 to 5 things, because not just 1 or 2, but try to find 3 to 5 things that you feel really, really strong about talking and teaching. And chances are that most likely these are some of those things that you can't stop talking about. Okay. And what lights you up? What makes you so excited? What do you feel so passionate about? What makes you feel good? And what kind of makes you feel aligned in your niche, right? So for me, for example, I could talk about the business and marketing all the time. If you're a relationship coach, this might be relationships for you, right? How you can build meaningful relationships. Now, what makes your ideal clients connect with you is actually your story, your core values, and your personality. And again, this goes back to you, right? So that your story, because this will resonate with your ideal clients. So if you're thinking about that, right? If you're sharing your message, if you're sharing your story and everything that you have kind of gone through, there are pieces in your story that will resonate with your ideal clients. So your story is something that will connect them with you, right? So it will bring you back to you, right? Your core values as well. So think about what do you stand for? What do you stand against for? And obviously your personality as well, because your personality is something that has to shine, from your messaging. So, and that will attract your tribe as well. And it doesn't matter if you're introvert or extrovert. So like I'm an introvert, at least like most cases. So, but I attract like both people, right? But it's the personality of yours that will start attracting your tribe. Now, what clients also think about is that they resonate with your story, they resonate with your core values and your personality, and they see that there is something in you that they are really curious about. But the biggest question that your ideal clients are asking is that, what's in it for me? Okay. So now, when I asked you before to kind of list your credentials and all this certification and experience, then here's the thing. This is for yourself, that you can really see that where is this expertise of yours, that you feel confident, that you know what you're talking about, that you're several steps ahead from an average person who's struggling with those things, right? So, but now when you're thinking about from your ideal client standpoint of view, they want to know what's in it for me. Okay. So that's the question that they will be asking themselves. They don't ask about like, what are your credentials or like that. These pieces are just for yourself to identify your areas of expertise. Okay. So, and now let's move on to the client side, because your client is the other piece, right? Obviously. So, and that is the biggest piece. And they really care about what's in it for them. Okay. That's all they really care about, right? And so how can you really show them like what's in it for them? Is showing them the outcomes that you can provide, right? So when it comes to those outcomes, you can think about three main outcomes that clients really care about, okay? They don't care about your modules. They don't care about, let's say, how many calls there are. They don't care about how you deliver. What they really care about is like, what is the specific outcome for them, okay? And there are three outcomes. There is a tangible outcome, financial outcome, and emotional outcome. Depending on your niche, you can be combining all those three things, but it could be just like one or two as well. So the tangible ones are pretty much anything that can be specific, right? For example, let's say that you're helping your clients to create, let's say, nutrition plan. This is a specific result, right? They will actually get the nutritional plan, right? Or an exercise plan, something very specific. So, or if you're helping them as a career coach, maybe you're helping them to create the resume, right? So that is something very specific, tangible outcome for them. Financial outcome could mean that they could end up saving money or making money in a long term or in a short term period, right? Emotional outcomes, on the other hand, are the most important pieces, because this is all about how do they feel about that, right? How do they feel? Are they going to feel confident, happy? Do they have like a purpose in life? Because that's what really matters, right? So if they're coming to you and if they are struggling, then how do they want to feel? What is the ultimate end goal where they want to end up? So this is the most important piece, because if your clients don't, let's say, like if you don't know how your clients want to feel at the end of this program or at the end of, let's say, your service, then there's no emotional connection. But people make decisions based on emotions. So there has to be this emotional outcome. How do they feel when they are done working with you, right? So what are some of those outcomes, emotional outcomes? Now, when you're thinking about those outcomes, like, so these are like the end goals where your ideal client wants to go. right? But your ideal clients are in specific place today, and you have to understand where they are today. And when we talked about before, you have to focus on yourself first. Then the second piece you need to focus on is the big urgent problem that they have. So this is really identifying like where your ideal clients are right now and where they want to go, and why does it have to change right now. So you see that this is a problem for them. You see that they have a vision where they want to go. And there has to be an urgency also. Why does it need to change right now? Because if there is no urgency, if they are telling you that, yes, I would love to get this solved, but I could do that in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or 6 months from now, this is not an urgent problem for them. This is not something that needs to be solved right now. And I highly think that you should focus on a problem that needs to be fixed right now. So these are your ideal clients, like who have this urgent problem. If this is not urgent, they are not right for you, because there is no urgency, right? They don't have to solve this right now. They can be still in this victim mode and still in this stuck mode, and they don't want to make a change. But you cannot help your client to create the change if they are not coachable, right? They have to be coachable. So identify really like what is going on with them. What's really going on with them? Like, what are they concerned about? What are they concerned about? What are they dreaming about? What is this big pain point that they have, like daily basis? And if you're thinking about, maybe you were your ideal client, right? So what was in your mind before your transformation? Maybe you had some beliefs, right? Maybe you were thinking like, I'm not sure that this is even possible for me. I knew that before, when I was working full time, I didn't see that, can I actually make this happen, right? But I wanted to believe, right? So think about what are some of those beliefs for your clients. What are some of the habits that they also have that maybe you had when you were your ideal client? And go back to that turning point as well. Like, what was this big turning point for you? Because that really determines this urgency too, right? So like, what was it, something that maybe, like, I give you an example, right? If you are, I don't know, let's say as a business coach, right? So when I'm helping people, if somebody's in a position that maybe like is so sick and tired and so fed up about their job already, or maybe like laid off or lost the job, then that might be something like is a big turning point for them. So, but also, what did you have to believe and do to make it happen? What were some of the things that you had to believe as your ideal clients? And what did you have to do? What kind of things did you have to do, like, daily basis, or maybe hire somebody, or what kind of support did you have to get, or decisions in your head that you make this change for your problem? Now, how can you identify this big problem as well? So there is a couple ways to do that. And the best way to identify, besides thinking back about yourself as your ideal client, is doing some market research and connecting other people who you think are your ideal clients, but connecting them as humans. So that it's not about just, let's say, like interviewing people the way that you don't have the connection. Just build this connection as a human being, and you will discover so much more about your ideal clients, because you do want to get into the head of your ideal clients, right? So how can you do market research, or how can you connect with other human beings, right? So first of all, explore the struggles and goals when you do like one-on-one interviews. You can schedule a couple 30-minute interviews, maybe let's say like 5 to 10 people, get them on the phone with you. And this is not a sales call, okay? It's just make it clear. Don't make it as a sales call. This is purely simple, like a connection call and market research call. And to understand like what are some of the struggles, what are some of the goals that they want to also achieve, and why do they have this problem? Why do they need to fix that? And take tons of notes, because everything that they tell you is actually what's going on in their head. And that will help you identify what your ideal client is going through so that you can actually help them. So also you can just see doing by surveys. You can come up with, let's say, up to 6 to 10 questions. And I typically recommend like no more than 6 questions, just because if there are too many questions, people get, they get a little bit turned off just because like it's time. It takes time to fill those out. Just create maybe 6 questions, multiple choice questions where you can give them some answers. And I recommend having like most important, important, and not important, right, as the options. So for example, like you can ask them, let's say, how important is to eat healthy for you daily basis, right? And then they have 3 options, right? Most important, important, or not important. So, or if you're looking to do maybe like a, I don't know, let's say group program, right? And with one-on-one calls, for example, as well. So you can also ask about like, how important would be for you to have the community of the, like a sisterhood, right? And to see what people are telling you. And also have some questions where people actually need to write their own answers as well, because this is the gold mine. Because if you can identify what's really going on in their own head, then you really see, like, can you solve this problem? Do you have this expertise or this experience to help those people, right? And so what kind of questions can you ask in a survey? So for example, what's the biggest struggle when it comes to your health, your relationship, whatever this is, right? So what are your goals, right? What has stopped you reaching your goals? And if you could hit your goals, how would it change your life? Like, what would be different? So you really want to ask those questions from them. And ideally, you want to have the last question, anything else I should know? And don't make this question mandatory, just leave it optional, because this is the question where people really, really open up and really share different things with you. So anything else I should know, because then you can really discover about different areas about their life that can come up that maybe you were not able to ask with your specific questions. And these are those things that now you can integrate to your program, to your messaging, to really understanding what is going on with your ideal clients. Now, if you put those things together, so how can you really get clear about your coaching niche? First of all, focus on your story, right? As we covered, your story, your experience, your passion, your personality, all of that resonates with your audience, right? Because like this is in your messaging, right? They resonate with your story, with your core values, with your personality. And if you use your experience or your expertise and your passion to also help people, and once you identify this big problem and you know there is a problem, guess what? You have actually hit the gold mine. Because one thing we don't want to do on this market is we do not want to create demand. We want to respond to this demand. If you identify this big problem that your ideal clients have, and you combine that with your story and your personal experience or your expertise, this is what will really bring you clarity, because your story will make you unique. But this big, oh my goodness, I misspelled it. So not a program, like a problem. That's what I was going to say. I just noticed that. Okay, so let me put that. So your story, and big problem, right? Big problem. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say, right? So what you want to see is that you want to focus on a story, but also this big problem. So that big problem is a problem that needs to be solved, right? So that if you identify that, then it will make you like easy to connect with your ideal clients, because you're actually offering them the solution, the outcomes with your expertise. So those two things have to match, right? You have to have the expertise and you have to know that there is a problem. Because if you're trying to just educate people and convince people about something, it's not going to work. The problem has to be there so that you can actually solve that. So do not try to create the demand on a market. It's not going to work this way. So I am curious to know also, if you're coming back to this replay or if you're watching a live, let me know what questions you have about your niche and where do you get stuck, so I can really bring you some clarity as well. I can give you some personal guidance in the comments. And so just go out there. Really, the clarity comes from taking action. So just combine your story and identify the problem. And I can tell you that you will get more clear, and more clear in every step on the way, the more that you will connect with your ideal clients. So thanks everyone for joining today, and I wish you a wonderful rest of the day.